Mock trial pages 12 through 25. Prosecution page 12. Affidavit of Ashley Williams. My name is Ashley Williams. I am a 21-year-old senior at New Columbia University, and I am majoring in business. I currently live at 110 Michigan Ave, NE, apartment 410, in Metropolitan, New Columbia. I have been at this address since the beginning of my sophomore year. I live with my roommate Pat Daniels. I met Michael Davis during my freshman year. We were both business majors, so we took 3 or 4 of the same classes. He borrowed notes from me a few times, and we talked a little now and then. In the middle of October, we started dating. I really liked Michael a lot from the very start. We saw each other almost every day from mid-October to May. It was a pretty serious relationship at the time. We were very close emotionally, and we were sexually active as well. I was very much in love with him. We were separated from each other the summer between our freshman and sophomore years. He got the job in Chicago for the summer and wanted me to come with him. I was going to go at first, but then I was offered a great job here for the summer and decided to stay instead. He didn't like that very much, and we argued about it a lot. He couldn't understand that although I wanted to be with him, I couldn't pass up this opportunity. He probably thought I would go out with other guys if he was not around. That's funny, since I heard he was dating other girls while he was in Chicago. It really hurt me that he could date someone so soon after we were apart. At first, I called him a lot, but he never seemed very happy to hear from me, and he didn't even call me once. He said he couldn't afford it. When I did call him, he talked about the people he was meeting and the parties he would go to. He'd also try to make me feel guilty about not coming. He complained about how much money he could have saved if I had worked in Chicago and lived with him for the summer. Page 12 of 59 USV. Davis EC Street Law Clinic, Georgetown University Law Center. Page 13. During the summer, I realized that I had become very dependent upon him and that, if it continued, it would be very bad for me. I still loved him and missed being with him, but I could not allow the relationship to continue that way. We managed to avoid each other all of sophomore year. During the fall of my junior year, we ended up having a class together. I thought that I was over him, but once we had lunch together, we started talking again and some old feelings came back. One thing led to another, and we decided to give it one more try. I purposely kept some distance between us, emotionally and physically, because I wanted to make sure I didn't become too dependent on him again. Although I fell in love with him again, I would not have sex with him. I stayed over his apartment a lot during the second relationship. Although we stayed in his bedroom, we only had sex once, on my birthday, November 3rd. There were a few more times when we almost did, but I always made him stop. He would always persist a little, but in the end, he would back off. Sometimes it got really hard to say no, but I wasn't ready yet, and he seemed to respect my decisions. That is, until the last time. I know it probably appeared to his roommate, Terry, that we were very active sexually because I was over there a lot. Michael didn't help the situation any when he would joke and hint about it in the morning. He'd make those remarks that guys think are funny, but we really usually stayed up talking or watching late movies. I don't know exactly how it all happened. On December 6, 2007, we went to a party. I had a couple of beers there, and I know that Michael had a few as well. I didn't think that either of us was drunk, though, maybe just a little buzzed. I know I wasn't drunk because if I were, I probably wouldn't have tried to stop him later. We had a great time at the party, although Michael spent a lot of time with Jenny Jackson. I wasn't too happy about that. Page 13 of 59 USV. Davis EC Street Law Clinic, Georgetown University Law Center. Page 14. We left the party and went back to his apartment. After we went to his room, he went to the bathroom, and I lay down on his bed to rest. When he came back, we started kissing, and he started to unbutton my shirt. I pushed his hand away, but a little while later, he tried again. I was enjoying the kissing and touching for a few minutes, but then I began to get nervous and said, "Please stop." He said I wasn't being fair to him, and if I really loved him, I would show him. I told him, no. I don't want to. I did love him, and it was so hard for me to say no because I wanted to make him happy, but I just wasn't ready. I thought he understood that. He said I was playing games with him because we had done it before. I don't see why that should matter. I didn't want to yell at him. I didn't want to start a fight. I was very serious when I told him no, but he wouldn't listen. I tried to get out of bed, but he grabbed my shirt and my arm and pulled me back, ripping my shirt and twisting my arm. He pulled my skirt up, pulled down my underpants and forced me to have sex with him. Afterwards, I was upset. I put on my underpants and took off my ripped shirt. I couldn't stand to have it on me anymore. Then I put on an old sweatshirt and sat down in the chair at his desk. I wanted to talk to him, tell him I was angry and that he shouldn't have forced me, but I was afraid I would start crying, so I didn't say anything. I just sat there staring at the desk and trying not to cry. I saw some stupid note this girl Jenny had written to Michael. The note said, "Honey, you're a great husband. See you tomorrow." The note bothered me. but it wasn't the reason why I was upset. He asked me what I was doing at the desk. I didn't answer because I knew if I opened my mouth, I would either cry or yell at him. I just walked out and slammed the door. I went back to my apartment. Pat, my roommate, could tell I was upset and asked me what was wrong, but I couldn't talk about it. I really wanted to, but I couldn't get the words to page 14 of 59 USV. Davis E.C. Street Law Clinic, Georgetown University Law Center. Page 15 come out. I took a shower, locked my door, and cried myself to sleep. Later that day, December 7, I told Pat I wasn't feeling well, and I skipped my classes. I felt like I was frozen, like all I could do was cry. All I could manage to do that whole day was write in my journal. I've written in my journal since high school, but since college I only write in it when something really meaningful happens. When Pat got back from classes, I was finally able to talk about what had happened. Pat suggested I go to the doctor or at least talk to someone at the school clinic. At first I didn't want to go to the clinic. Michael was my boyfriend, we were at his apartment, and we had been drinking. I didn't think anyone would believe me, and what could I do about it anyway? Also, I didn't want my family and friends to hear about it. A part of me was wondering if I could have done something more to prevent it, if maybe it was my fault in some way. I felt hurt, confused, angry, doubtful, and scared all at once. I didn't know what to do. Pat and I talked for a long time and finally agreed to go to talk to a counselor. The next day, December 8th, I met with Randy Miller, who is a rape counselor at the clinic. Randy told me a lot of information about date rapes on college campuses, and that my psychological reactions and especially self-doubt were normal, but that I shouldn't blame myself. A part of me didn't think that a person could be raped by her boyfriend. Randy said that no means no, and if it was against my will, it was rape. The next few days were hard because I felt like somehow everyone knew, even though I know now that they didn't. I felt ashamed and humiliated. Talking with Pat and Randy really helped. They kept suggesting that I report it to the police. Eventually, on December 10th, I got enough nerve to go. It's still hard to deal with. I am still angry at Michael. I do everything I can just to avoid him. I still have nightmares sometimes, and I lost a lot of weight for a while afterwards. I wonder page 15 of 59 USV. Davis E.C. Street Law Clinic, Georgetown University Law Center. Page 16 if he knows any of this, or if he even realized what he did was wrong. I really know now that it wasn't my fault. It took me a while to realize it, but I'm sure of it. I really loved and trusted him, but he abused that love and he broke that trust. Someone has to make Michael realize what he did was wrong. Page 16 of 59 USV. Davis E.C. Street Law Clinic, Georgetown University Law Center. Page 17, this page intentionally left blank. Page 17 insert affidavit of Lee Smith, witness for the prosecution. My name is Lee Smith. I am 21 years old. I am a senior at NCU. I'm a business major. I live at 22 East Main Street, Apartment 4, Metropolitan, New Columbia. On December 6, 2007, I went to a party with some business classmates. I'm in the business classes with Jenny Jackson, Michael Davis and Ashley Williams. I've known all three of them since my junior year. Jenny invited me to the party. Just after we got to the party, Jenny stopped walking and her and Michael Davis began talking about our class married couples budget project. It's kind of a fun project because the professor paired us all up as fake married couples. I kept walking towards for the food and drink tables. I got a plate full of chicken wings and a beer. Then, I looked around the room. I saw Pat Daniels sitting on the couch on the other side of the room. I hollered hi to her, but she didn't hear me, I guess. She had her back to me mostly. It was a little loud with the music and all the people. After a few minutes, I saw Michael Davis walk up to Jenny holding 2 full beers. She turned to him and took the beer Michael offered her. I saw she was wearing her pretty blue sweater. It looked fine, with no rips or tears. At the party, I drank 1 beer and ate 5 chicken wings. I left around 11:30 p.m. Page 17 of 59, replacement page USV. Davis E.C. Street Law Clinic, insert for B.T. Washington High School. Page 18 affidavit of Randy Miller. My name is Randy Miller. I work at the New Columbia University Health Clinic as a psychological counselor. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's degree in social work. I have worked here for 5 years. During the first 2 years, I was a general counselor, but I've specialized in assisting rape and sexual assault victims for the last 3 years. Previously, I volunteered as a hotline counselor for the clinic 2 or 3 times a week during my sophomore, junior, and senior years at New Columbia University. I became interested in the clinic's rape assistance program because my sister was raped while she was in college, and I witnessed the trauma she went through at the time. I met Ashley Williams for the first time on the morning of December 8th. When she entered my office, she appeared very calm, and she seemed to answer my preliminary questions without any problems. When I began to question her about Michael and her relationship with him, however, she became tense and uneasy. I could tell that it was difficult for her to talk about him without getting very angry and upset. She was fighting back the tears, as she told me about